Once upon a time, in a quiet little village hidden among high mountains, lived a 24-year-old young man named Marco. Although the world around him was calm and beautiful, Marco's mind was never at rest. His head was always crowded with endless thoughts and memories of the past, worries about the future, and questions he could not answer. Every morning, he woke up feeling tired. Even though he had slept all night, his thoughts kept spinning like a storm. Sometimes, he remembered mistakes from years ago and felt regret. Other times, he worried about what would happen in the days ahead. Would his life improve? Would he ever be happy? These restless thoughts left him unable to focus, unable to sleep deeply, and he had almost forgotten how to smile. One evening, while sitting by the village square, Marco overheard some travelers speaking about a faraway hill village. They said that in that village lived a wise old man who once had been a great psychologist in the city. He had helped countless people understand their minds and guided them toward peace. When he grew old, he left behind the noise of the city and chose a simple life in nature, where sometimes he still welcomed visitors. Hearing this, Marco's heart filled with hope. Perhaps this wise man can help me, he thought. Without waiting long, he decided to set out on a journey. The journey was not easy. Marco walked for days along rocky paths, crossed streams, and climbed steep slopes. His body grew weary, but his heart pushed him forward. Finally, after a long journey, he reached a quiet village in the hills. There, surrounded by trees and flowers, stood a small house covered in vines. On the porch sat the old man, eyes closed, breathing slowly, his face as calm as the surface of a still lake. Marco walked closer, bowed respectfully, and spoke with trembling voice, "Grandfather, my mind is restless. I cannot stop thinking. I want peace in my heart. Can you help me?" The old man slowly opened his eyes and smiled warmly. "So, you are searching for peace? Very well, I will give you a small task." He took Marco into his little yard. There, he filled a glass of water until it was completely full, almost overflowing. Then he handed the glass carefully to Marco and said, "Take this glass, walk from here to the far edge of the village, and then return to me. But remember, do not spill even a single drop of water." Marco was surprised by this strange task, but he agreed. Holding the glass firmly, he began to walk. The road through the village was busy. Children played and shouted, dogs barked loudly, and shopkeepers called out to customers. Yet Marco's eyes stayed fixed only on the glass. Step by step, he moved slowly and carefully, afraid that even the slightest shake would spill the water. People turned their heads to watch, but nobody disturbed him. They understood he was learning something important. Finally, Marco returned to the old man and proudly said, "Grandfather, I did it. I didn't spill a single drop." The old man nodded gently. "Very good. But tell me, Marco, did you see the children playing on the road? Did you hear the dogs barking or the shopkeepers calling?" Marco frowned in surprise. "No, Grandfather. I saw nothing. I heard nothing. My whole mind was only on the glass of water." The old man's eyes sparkled, and he said softly, "That, my son, is the secret. Peace is not somewhere outside you, it is already inside you. The reason you suffer is because your thoughts keep wandering to the past and the future. But when your mind rests fully in the present moment, there is no space for fear, confusion, or sorrow." While carrying that glass, you were living only in this moment. You were not sad about yesterday, and you were not afraid of tomorrow. Your mind was completely quiet. Suddenly, Marco understood. The heavy storm inside him began to settle. He bowed deeply and whispered, "Grandfather, now I see it clearly. If I want peace, I must live in the present moment. Only then can my heart truly rest." The old man smiled as the sun slowly set behind the mountains. Golden light touched the earth, and birds returned to their nests. Marco looked at the horizon, and for the first time in years, he felt calm. When he left the old man's house, he was no longer the restless young man who had arrived. He walked back toward his own village with a light heart, carrying the gift of peace within him. And from that day onward, Marco's life was never the same. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel Moral Story Hub for more inspiring tales filled with wisdom and life lessons. Until we meet again, stay calm, stay present, and stay at peace.